While on a tour in Greece, Alexis saw that the temperature was 30 degrees Celsius. Solve for F in the formula right here, C equals 5/9 F minus 32. Then use it to find the Fahrenheit temperature. So what this is a conversion formula. This is how we convert between Celsius and Fahrenheit. It's this formula right here. And so the first thing they want us to do is to take this equation and solve for F. And then the second part, we're going to plug in the 30 degrees Celsius to the formula and find out how hot it is in degrees Fahrenheit. All right, that's a two-parter. So let's come on down here. I'm going to write the formula. C equals 5/9 F minus 32. Okay, and put in the wall here. Separation. Okay, so we're trying, it's a formula, it's got lots of letters and some numbers. We're trying to get F alone, right? See how the F is alone here? So it's all about getting F alone. All right, so what do we do first? Well, I think you know, right? When we have fractions, what do we have here? We have fractions with an equal sign. See how there's fractions and there's an equal sign. So what do you do when you have fractions with an equal sign? You multiply all the terms by the LCD over 1, and where the LCD equals the denominators multiplied, huh? So, okay, so the only denominator is the 9, right? That's the only thing under a bar is the 9. And so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply it by that over 1. So I go 9 over 1. In fact, why don't I just change it to color? Well, 9 over 1. And over here, I'll just put 9 because it's not a fraction. You don't need to put 9 over 1. Does that make sense? Now that makes sense. Now you might say, well, Mr. Why didn't you put the 9 over 1 here and here also? I thought you're supposed to do all the terms. Well, actually, this is all one big term. Let me write a special note on that. We for parentheses, just multiply the front, and next step, it will distribute inside, right? Because whatever we do to the front of a parenthesis, on the next step, it's going to go in. So we really have done the inside by doing the front. Does that make sense? Whenever you have parentheses and you're multiplying, you just need to multiply the front. It will eventually distribute in. Whatever you've done, the effect of it will eventually distribute in. Okay. So now what's step 2? I think you know. Cross, cancel, denoms, multiply whatever's left over, the leftover. So I'm going to cross cancel those 2 9s. Huh? So you get rid of denominators. That's why we're doing this, because we want to get rid of the denominators. So we cross cancel those 2 denominators. And what does that leave us? That leaves us with 9c equals 5 f minus 32. Right? Because these 9s are gone. This is 5 over 1, which is just 5. Okay, and so now I think you know what to do from here. We just, whenever we have parentheses, we distribute through the parentheses. 9c is 5f minus, use your calculator, 5 times 32 will come out to be 160, like that. Okay. And now what are we trying to do? We're trying to get f alone. So f is yelled out, you know, for over here. I better extend the wall a little bit. Looks like we have a little further to go. So it's like f is yelled out way down here or wherever. I want to be alone, right? Get rid, right? Because that's what we're trying to solve for. F, get F alone. That's been the name of the game. Get F alone. So we got to get rid of that 160, get rid of that 5, so that F can be alone. So keep going. Add the 160 to both sides, like so. And it cancels. So that's 5F is 9C plus 160. We can't add this. We can't. A common mistake, an easy mistake to make, is to go, well, I'll just add those. I'll just go 9 and 160. It's 169C. No, you can't add unless they both have the same letter. Can't do that. In other words, if this had a C also, if the 160 was a 160C, then yeah, you could add those, because then they would be like terms. Then you would have 9C and 160C, and that would be 169C. So you can only add things that have the same letter, or that are just plain numbers, if there's no letters at all, of course. So you can only add things that have the same letter. If they don't have the same letter, like these guys, the 160 has no letter at all. They just have to stay separated. Okay, so now what are we going to do from here? Well, the last step to get F alone, the last step is always divide, isn't it? So I'm going to divide by the 5, divide by the 5, and you have to divide all 3. Now you could do one big bar, but I think it's easier just to do it like this. And so I'm going to divide all 3 by the 5. You got to do equal treatment, right? Whenever you have an equal sign, you got to do equal treatment. Whatever you do to one of them, you got to do to all 3 of them. Okay, I think you know that. And what becomes of it? Well, the 5s cancel here. And so bring that on down. That gives us F alone, like we want. This is going to be 9C over 5. Really nothing happens there. Plus, and then on your calculator, 160 divided by 5 on your calculator. What's that? I think it's 32, isn't it? Yeah, 32. So there we go. We got F alone. F is 9C over 5. 5 here. 9C over 5 plus 32. That's what I put in this blank here. 9C over 5. My 5 still come out so nice. 9C, let's see a little bigger. Plus 32. All right, 9C over 5 plus 32. So we got F alone. There it is. That's the hard part. And now the second part of this question is they're saying, okay, they want us to enter your answer as an expression. We did that. Okay, and now round your answer to 1. So now they want degrees Fahrenheit. They're not really making this question very clear. It's kind of confusing. You're like, what's this degrees Fahrenheit? Well, now we plug in her temperature right here. Remember that 30 degrees Celsius? I'm going to bring that down. So 30 degrees Celsius is how much in degrees Fahrenheit? 30 degrees Celsius is how much in degree? That's been the question from the beginning, right? Alexis went to Greece and she saw the temperature was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. She's thinking, what is that in I'm 30 degrees Celsius. She's saying, what is that in Fahrenheit? Well, now that we took the formula and we solved it so that we have F alone, now we can use it to plug in. So now we just plug in 30 degrees Celsius. So I'm going to take this formula that we just worked hard to get, 9C plus 32 equals F. And I'll take that 30 for C, plug it in right there for C. Does that make sense? That's how the formula works. If you have a C, a Celsius, you can plug it in and it'll tell you what the Fahrenheit is. So let's see it happen. So 9 times 30 over 5 plus 32 is F, okay? And then it's just simply a matter of using your calculator. Take your calculator and go 9 times 30 over 5, and you'll get 54 plus 32 is F add those up was at 96. No, 86. Can't add by hand very easily. It's 86. There we go. So that's 86 degrees Fahrenheit. See how that formula just worked? So we took the degrees Celsius, plugged that in for C to the formula, hit the buttons on our calculator, added them up. Fahrenheit is 86. So in other words, 30 degrees Celsius is the same as 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the conversion. So this formula is used for converting between Celsius and Fahrenheit. We took it and we got the F alone, and then we could use it to plug in. And so that's the answer that goes in the second blank is the, what was it? 84? Yeah, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So they already have the degree Fahrenheit right there for us. So there we go.